The Arcus 3D M2 from the Machine Kit meetup, mainly because it runs Machine Kit. It uses the velocity extrusion branch, which was created by, well, it's not a branch, it's the code that you guys wrote, to split the velocity signal between the multiple channels, which makes my job of doing the color changing easy, because I just take the one number and divide it into 6. I basically had to add like 10 lines to your velocity stuff to make this happen. It was really quite simple. See, beyond that, it's a BeagleBone Black with a cramps board, and it is using the 3 extra channels that are pinned out on the cramps board to run an off-board 3 more stepper chips. So for a total of 9 stepper chips and all the PWM on the cramps board. So I think that's like 9 channels of steppers and 8 channels of PWM or something like that. So it has absolutely zero problem doing it. I mean, it all runs, most of it runs on the PRU. So the only time it ever gets above 10% processor is when it's like streaming, the UI. So it's I like it. Good little platform. Anyway, the thing that's special about this is it's got a mixing printhead. So you could take your 6 elements, or your 6 extruders. They feed down into the single printhead there, and you've got that little BLDC motor, which mixes the filaments as they extrude into a single chamber, and then out the nozzle they go, and you end up with that upside down. Poor color. It's color, really. It's basically a 3-layer print. I just printed the color in the first layer because it was easier to give you something that looks nice and without a lot of work. So I just wrote a script to generate the first layer, and then I just got to print the second layer in black, or second layer in white, and the third layer in black. So just by the differentiation of where I'm printing is how I get my result. I'd show you the user interface, but my laptop is dead. It's using machine face with the remote UI, a stripped down version of it that I just removed all the extra prettiness to it and made it bare buttons to do exactly what I needed and nothing more. It's not very pleasing to look at, but it works and it gets the job done. So any questions?
What's been the hardest part of getting this working so far?
The seal in the mixing chamber. I mean, your stuff was easy. Getting Machine Kit working was actually pretty easy. This the whole scenario of all this software stuff was like, that was done in like a week, and everything else has been trying to get that thing to seal for like a year, and pretty much got it. But it has to be very precise. It has to remain perfectly vertical and remain perfectly flat and it's touching all the time, and it has a visco ring carved into it, so it pumps the filament out as it leaks in. So it's this one is just now, because it didn't seal when I got here, it's now just 2 flat surfaces touching is keeping it sealed, but the real one is actually quite involved and engineered. This, you know what? I'll take it apart. No, I won't.
What kind of, I know you were at the West Rock Art Festival, you were mixing different materials.
Yeah, I don't have any examples here, but yes, I did an experiment with mixing ABS and nylon because the nylon was too soft originally, and when I mixed it with ABS, I'm not sure if I actually maintained the abrasion-resistant properties of the nylon or not, but it was a lot stiffer, and it maintained my, I have a, I printed, sorry, you're on camera now, everyone knows you. Okay, I printed this, this out of, this out of nylon mixed with ABS, and then it was actually stiff enough to hold together. The original one out of just nylon, it like flexed too much to be an effective planetary. It was distorting as I put torque on it. So the mixed one worked better, but ultimately ABS, just straight ABS worked better even. So I just put a little lube on it.
Have you ever tried anything like mixing Ninja Flex?
Yes. Yes, with some very interesting results, but it only ever happened once, and I don't know why. I mixed PLA with NinjaFlex, which I don't think should have worked at all, but when I did it, as it exited the nozzle, it like expanded.
Huh.
And I don't know why, and I haven't been able to duplicate it since. I have no idea what exact scenario I caused there, but it was like it exited the nozzle at like 0.4 and immediately went to like 0.7 or 0.8. It just went.
So do you think it might be feasible to do something like, say, a hard PLA shell with a flexible Ninja joint?
I think chemically compatible would be closer to do like an ABS Flex. Like TPU and ABS, I think, are closer in the chemical realm than
So chemically dissimilar things are getting really.
They work, but you're creating a homogeneous mix. There's no actual chemical bonding happening. Like you can mix PLA and ABS, and it works.
Huh.
It's not the greatest material, but it works, and it's you get, like, if you mix black PLA and white ABS, you'll get gray, and it'll be consistent and smooth, but it's not as strong, because you're making microcellular structures that are, the only thing holding them together is this, physical. They don't bond chemically, so. But you can do that at a really, really small scale, so it might be useful. I don't know. What I think would be more interesting is the ability to like print in the correct direction for a joint, to get it to be strong, like print in the long direction, but then be able to change. Because right now, if you want to take two dissimilar materials and butt them together, you have to, you print in this direction, then you change your extruder and you print again. The only thing, holding them together then is them touching, and if they stuck to each other or not. But whereas if you could like print in a straight line and change materials as you're doing it, now you've got this single cylinder that should be much stronger. I don't know. I haven't done that yet. I can't change quite that quick yet. It takes about the fastest I can get it to change is about 10 millimeters, and that's when everything is perfect. Yeah, I still have a little work to do. I brought the first thing I ever printed. It was terrible. Like, that was it. Yes, there's evolution there. That's the first thing that ever came off the printer. It's just warped and inconsistent, but it was almost blended. That was transparent red and white.
Yeah.
So that's what you get. It wasn't quite blended.
So have you gone through multiple iterations of printers or just?
Yeah, multiple iterations of the whole printer and multiple iterations of pretty much every component in it. Yeah, like the printhead now, if I don't count the last week, it was at 14.2. But last week I just made 5 more, but I'm not counting any of those. None of them really worked right. So, but in the ones that actually worked, actually the first 6 didn't work either. But I started at like around 7, then they started working, and I'm now at 14. So just for the printhead.
Do you feel you're reaching a point of convergence?
Yes, I am. Yes, the only thing I tweaked in the last 5 I made was the angle that was going in, and slightly the size of the heat break, because I discovered you can actually make a heat break too small. Like this one is too small. It jams more readily than anything I've ever made. I mean, like if the heat break is like 1 millimeter, it's a little bit too long. You actually end up getting more expansion when you stop printing. The ooze, the drip, that kind of stuff. The more filament you have hot, the more it expands in there, and the more comes out. So the way you reduce that volume is A, make that chamber small. B, give it a taper so it actually has a increasing surface and not a abrupt change. And C, make your heat break. C, make your heat break small. So I've been trying to get it smaller and smaller and smaller, and this one I got it too small. So
what tool, when you want to color something, do you have any tools you use, or currently just via the G code? Yes,
I wrote actually I stole somebody else's code and added my little bit to it. Same thing I do with this. But somebody had a G code visualizer, which just drew all the lines on the screen. It's written in Python. It was real easy to hack. And all I did is I changed the color of the lines. So now you can visualize what the G codes are doing, or what the M codes, M163 codes, are doing in the final result. And along with that, it has a synchronized Vim editor for which line you're looking at. So here's your Vim editor, here's the G code. You can step through the lines that it's going to draw, and it scrolls in the Vim editor at the same time. And then you pick the spot where you're going to change and put it in, and go to the next spot you want to change, put it in. It's really tedious and manual, but it's a way to do it. Other than that, you're just looking at a bunch of code, and that's even harder. So, but this, like these things, like this was generated. The background was generated. Well, actually, this one I think I did manually. That one was like you can just flip the. Why is that backwards?
Yeah,
that's interesting. Okay, you can just manually change the colors as it's printing too, which is what I did here. I just every 4 lines or so.
The camera's upside down.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's designed
No,
to.
Is it?
Well, it's designed to mount on the.
right.
Right, but now my base is upside down. So no, it's like backwards. It's like it's like
Well.
Anyway, yeah, off topic. So what I did with this one was I just manually changed the colors with the sliders in the interface, and then with that one, I actually wrote a script that just counted the number of M700 P0s and every other one and changed the color, and it just went through a loop of the spectrum. So in that way, it ends up with a very even, smooth transition, because it actually does it much more often than my manual one. My manual one, you can see every color change. Like every, there I change color, there I change color, there I change color. And this one is like every line is getting, a little gradient. So I'm gonna pull that off of there. Let's go in that way. Everyone else got to hide from the camera. I want to too. Yeah, I think I overheated it a little bit because it's the colors get muted when you turn up the temperature too much, but you turn up the temperature and it prints easier. So I'm gonna find that balance. Because if viscosity directly related to how fast you can spin the stuff, so. That actually turned out pretty good. So, yes, nice smooth gradient on this one, except for the blobs I have. That's from leaking. So difference, yes, smooth on the script, not smooth on the hand. Most. I did screw up one of the pieces on this version. It's they're supposed to come into the mixer all at the same height, and one of them came out a little bit lower, and I think that's where this is actually coming from.
It's
Oh, okay.
already.
Yeah, you notice there's an actual. It goes from green, orange, and then yellow, and back to orange. I think what's happening is the one next over to it is actually causing this one to bleed because I don't have them all the same height in the mixed chamber. That might be the one. I don't know. But when they're all the same height, then it changes smoothly. I actually tried staggering them, so I could get double the number of ports in the same space and have bigger ports, So I did a set low and a set high and a set low, and it worked terribly. the ones on the bottom all was jammed, and bad idea. So that answer your question? I don't know. I've gone around the world, I think.
So when you think, how far away are you from, releasing it or selling it or?
Well, the plan is the printhead, not the printer, mainly because that would require UL listing and safety stuff, and whereas that I can just sell, and everything else is commodity, and you can pick up a cramps board, and you can pick up a Picobone, and the rails are all commodity. My little carriages aren't commodity, but they're easy to make, so I want to sell the printhead. That's the plan. I've been trying to get spooled up to do that, but tooling is still sitting in storage, so yeah, not there yet. Getting there. Yeah, I think I'm to the point where I can. And if I make the heat break of this one a little bit bigger, I think I'm done. I mean, I've solved all the problems I've had, minus that. Interesting problem. How do you get very thin pieces of aluminum to bond to each other? Like the printhead is made of multiple layers, because it's got a water cooling channel internally machined, and then so I tried, JB weld and super glue and none of that stuff ever held together for very long. But what did work, I stole from how they make superchargers, which is normally if you take like Loctite and you put it on aluminum, it does nothing, because it doesn't have the right chemical structure to initiate the Loctite. But they make a special spray you can put on there, it activates it, and then it was like, no, that's what I use now. Huh. Yeah. They would randomly start leaking like a month after I made them, Other than that, so this one, ever since I started doing that, nothing will take it apart. So yeah, you think like JB Weld and that kind of stuff will hold it together. I tried scratching it, I tried making it smooth, I tried, nothing would keep it together. They always popped apart.
Come up with like a printer that'll print out aluminum, or like the original 3D printers from years ago before they started going to use paper, and they cut out the paper and they layer it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Down.
Oh, that's true. You could do that with the activator. Yeah, cut it in little sheets and then put it together. probably be terrible. But
Like with tinfoil.
oh, maybe, yeah. You'd end up with like half of the structure would be made out of plastic though. By the time you're done. But yeah, it's like once you put the activator on there, the Loctite will set up in like 20 minutes too.
So it's like Loctite with an activator?
It's Loctite with an activator. Yeah. So that's what'll do it. Otherwise, the aluminum will not bond to itself with just Loctite. That's about it. Anyway, thank you very much for MachineKit. It's made my life very easy in that realm. I just took what you guys wrote and plugged it in, and it pretty much just works. So like I said, what I added to your stuff, you could probably fit on a postcard. it's literally MachineKit, machine face, out of the box, add 20 lines, and voila, works. Thank you.
Okay.